Check this right now. If the voices of your loved ones are not heard the first time, then something has already gone wrong. Hello, my name is Pavel Ivanov, and for 40 years I have been studying auditory neurology. Friends, if you had to call someone twice to be heard, know that in 3 months, it will get worse. After 6 months, the volume of the television will exceed 50, and in a year you will start losing precious memories. However, at 82 years old, grandfather Ivan Petrovich from Moscow found himself in a different situation. He had already used the hearing aid, but just 3 months later he could hear even his grandson's whisper, and cried tears of joy. How could this be possible? Every night before going to sleep, he dedicated just 3 minutes. Turn off the television and change just this one thing, and then a miracle happened. Have you ever had moments when you didn't hear the phone ring, kept asking again, or felt that those around you were just mumbling? Even worse is when you increasingly forget names. Friends, it's not just old age, it's a disconnect between the ear and the brain. But starting from this evening, you can restore this connection. If you watch this video to the end, your clogged ears will clear and dementia will vanish forever. I will share the secret of how to avoid dementia until death. Tell in the comments how your test just went. So, what did grandfather Ivan Petrovich do every night 3 minutes before sleep? I will tell you about it. Just 5 steps, and I will explain each of them in detail. The 5th step is especially important, so don't miss it. The first step is pressing on the acupuncture points around the ear. Friends, right now, touch the area in front of your ear. Open and close your mouth. Feel the indentation. I remember meeting 74-year-old Maria Sergeyevna from St. Petersburg. She couldn't hear the television even at volume 80. Her grandson complained, "Grandma, it's too loud." I advised Maria Sergeyevna, lie in bed every night and press this point with your thumb for 30 seconds. Press hard to a slight pain 3 times. At first, Maria Sergeyevna doubted. Could this really help? But I was sure, since this point is called the Heavenly Palace and has been used for treatment for over 2,000 years as an important acupuncture point. The first week passed without changes. Maria Sergeyevna asked, "Teacher, will this really work?" But on the 10th day, changes began to manifest. Oh, this morning, I heard the birds singing. 2 weeks later, the volume of the television decreased to 60. Why did this happen? Pressure improves blood circulation. Thus, the hair cells in the ear receive more oxygen and nutrients as if watering a wilted flower. But the most important thing is that stimulating this point activates the nerves that go to the brain, sending a signal. The ear is still alive. Keep using it. Friends, try it right now. Press your thumb on the dip in front of your ear for 30 seconds with a light pressure until it hurts. How do you feel? Do you feel your ear clearing up a bit? This is the first step. But it's not enough. The second step is even more important. So, let's move on to the second step. The first step gives only a slight effect, but noticeable changes begin with the second. The second step is ear stretching. Friends, try for a moment to touch your ear. Hold the top part and gently pull up, then the side, to the side, and the bottom, down. Let me tell you the story of Olga Nikolaevna, who is already 65 years old, living in Novosibirsk. Olga Nikolaevna struggled to talk on the phone, understanding only half of her interlocutor's words and constantly asking, "Please, repeat." Her daughter was very worried and took her to the hospital. The examination revealed that her inner ear had hardened like an old rusty door. I advised Olga Nikolaevna, after the first step, pull your ear up to the side and down for 10 seconds each. Not too hard, just to the point of comfort. Olga Nikolaevna was surprised. Pulling my ear, won't it get damaged? But in reality, it's the opposite. Stretching expands the space inside the ear. The blocked passages are cleared, as if you are unclogging a pipe. Moreover, the muscles around the eardrum begin to move. These muscles had been stiff from inactivity, but now they are becoming more flexible. Olga Nikolaevna had been doing this for 2 weeks, and something amazing happened. One day her daughter called, and for the first time, Olga Nikolaevna did not ask what, but simply continued the conversation. A month later, an even greater miracle occurred. She began to hear small sounds outside, such as the singing of birds and the whispering of the wind. This has been scientifically confirmed. Medical articles mention that stretching the ear helps with otitis and congestion. Friends, try this for yourselves. After the first step, pull your ear up for 10 seconds, sideways for 10 seconds, and down for 10 seconds. Do you feel your ear cooling? It's clearing up. This is the second step, but you should not stop. The real brain training begins at the third step. The third step is a method used even at NASA. Don't miss it. So now we move on to the third step. This method is truly impressive. At NASA, it is used to train astronauts' hearing. The third step is to close your eyes and focus on the sounds. Friends, close your eyes right now and listen to the sounds around you. The ticking of a clock, the noise of the air conditioner, the sounds of cars from the street. Try to distinguish each of them. Let me tell you the story of Sergei Vasilievich, who is 70 years old and from Yekaterinburg. Sergei Vasilievich found himself in a difficult situation. He could not hear his wife even from the next room. His wife called him "dear," but he did not respond until she touched his shoulder. It was very sad, as Sergei Vasilievich spoke less. Why talk if I can't hear? And he spent his days in solitude. I advised Sergei Vasilievich, after the first and second steps, close your eyes for 1 minute and focus on the sounds. Try to distinguish each of them. Sergei Vasilievich doubted, as simply closing his eyes and listening seemed too easy. But within this method lies an astonishing scientific principle. When the eyes are closed, the part of the brain responsible for vision rests, and this energy shifts to the auditory section, as if you turn off one light source and another becomes brighter. Moreover, focusing on sounds helps the brain realize the importance of hearing and activates the nerves leading to the ear. At NASA, astronauts receive specialized training because in space, it is crucial not to miss any sound, even the faintest. This can be extremely dangerous. Sergei Vasilievich trained for 3 weeks, and ultimately, a true miracle occurred. One morning, his wife called him from the kitchen. "Dear, breakfast is ready." And he heard her the first time. His wife was astonished. "Did you really hear?" To which he replied, "Yes, I heard. Your voice is so beautiful." Both couldn't hold back their tears. After 2 months, he became even better at distinguishing sounds. The laughter of children outside, the singing of birds. Friends, try right now. Close your eyes for a minute and listen. How many different sounds can you distinguish? Share in the comments how many sounds you heard. You too can become someone else, like Sergei Vasilievich. This is the third step. The fourth step is even more astonishing. Even neurobiologists were stunned. Don't miss it. So the fourth step. This method is truly impressive. Scientists from Harvard Medical School were shocked. Is this really possible? The fourth step is whispering. Friends, right now, whisper "ah" and "ow" very softly, quieter than the sound of the wind. Let me tell you the story of 76-year-old Alexei Dmitrievich from Krasnoyarsk. He was in complete despair. Even with a hearing aid, he could not hear his grandson say, "Grandpa, I love you." The grandson tried to speak with exaggerated articulation, but nothing helped. Gradually, the grandson began to communicate less with his grandfather. Alexei Dmitrievich was very upset. I advised him, after the first 3 steps, whisper very quietly, "ah, a, I, o, oo" 10 times each, so quietly that only you can hear it. Alexei Dmitrievich shook his head. "Teacher, I can't hear loud sounds. How will I hear quiet ones? This is pointless." But therein lies an amazing scientific secret. When you try to whisper very quietly, your brain begins to think, "This sound must not be missed." And the auditory nerves become more sensitive, like eyes adjusting to darkness. Moreover, your voice is heard through the bones. This is called bone conduction. This method activates the damaged ear and helps it recover. An experiment at Harvard Medical School showed that a whispering group restored hearing 3 times faster. Alexei Dmitrievich practiced for a month, and something incredible happened. The grandson quietly said, "Grandfather," and he heard. "What did you say?" asked Alexei Dmitrievich. The grandson was shocked. "Grandfather heard." The whole family gathered and cried tears of joy. 3 years later, they spoke with the grandson for the first time. And 2 months later, another miracle happened. He heard music from his grandson's headphones. Friends, try it right now. After the first 3 steps, whisper "a" and "o" 10 times, so quietly that only you can hear. How does it feel? You will feel your focus growing. This is the fourth step, but the fifth is the most important. It is with it that real miracles happen. The secret lies in how Ivan Petrovich was able to hear his grandson's whisper, precisely in the 5th step. Do not miss, finally, the 5th step. It is the true secret that helped Ivan Petrovich hear his grandson's whisper. The 5th step is words of gratitude. Friends, after the first 4 steps, sincerely say them. Let me tell you the story of 79-year-old Anna Ivanovna from Vladivostok. Anna Ivanovna found herself in a difficult situation. She did not hear her daughter loudly saying, "Mom, it's time to go to the hospital." They had to communicate through notes. The daughter wrote on paper, and Anna Ivanovna felt guilty. "I am a burden to my daughter." I explained the first 4 steps to her and added, "After everything, tell your ear. You have worked so hard. Let's become healthy again." Anna Ivanovna initially did not understand how one could talk to an ear. What absurdity. But in this step lies a deep meaning. Expressing gratitude promotes the production of serotonin, which helps heal the body, especially in the process of nerve recovery. What is even more important, hearing your own voice gives you the final push towards complete recovery. Anna Ivanovna had been doing this for 2 months, and a true miracle happened. One morning, her daughter called from the kitchen, "Mom, breakfast is ready." And to her surprise, Anna Ivanovna replied, "Okay, I'm coming." The daughter was in shock. "Mom, did you hear?" Anna Ivanovna happily confirmed, "Yes, I heard. Your voice is so beautiful." They hugged and cried from happiness. A year later, they had their first conversation, and 3 months later, she began to hear the birds and the wind. Now, Anna Ivanovna calls her daughter every day and communicates with her grandchildren via video link. Her life has changed for the better. For those who have reached this point, I will reveal one more unique piece of advice. I talked about 5 steps, but there is a secret that enhances the effect tenfold. Before starting, take a sip of water in your mouth. Do not swallow, just hold it. Why is this important? 70-year-old Ekaterina Petrovna from Omsk used this method. She practiced the 5 steps for 2 weeks but saw no changes and was about to give up. I shared this secret with her, and in 3 days, amazing changes began. With water in the mouth, pressure increases in the oral cavity, stimulating the eustachian tube connected to the ear. The tube clears, and pressure in the ear normalizes. Moreover, the vibrations of the water are transmitted through the bones to the ears, as if massaging them from within. Ekaterina Petrovna felt the difference from the very first day. After 3 days, she heard the sound of rain for the first time in 20 years, and after a week, another miracle happened. She heard her grandson from another room. However, attention. The water must be at room temperature, definitely not cold, and just 1 sip. This method really increases the effect tenfold, but it's a secret only for those who have made it to the end. Like Ekaterina Petrovna, try it with a sip of water. You will feel amazing changes. But for everything to go right, there are important warnings. If they are not followed, the opposite effect is possible. Do not miss important information. So, finally, 3 key warnings. First, do not push too hard. If pressing on points or pulling the ear causes pain, ease the pressure. Overdoing it can lead to inflammation. Second, be consistent. A couple of days won't yield results, at least 2 weeks to feel changes. Spend 3 minutes on this every evening before bed. Third, if there is inflammation or a wound in the ear, first focus on treatment. This method is suitable only for a healthy ear. If there is an illness, consult a doctor first. Today I summarized Ivan Petrovich, Maria Sergeyevna, Olga Nikolaevna, Sergei Vasilievich, Alexei Dmitrievich, Anna Ivanovna, and Ekaterina Petrovna gained a new life through 5 steps, from the first, pressing certain points, to the 5th, which involves expressing gratitude. And, of course, don't forget the helpful tip of taking a sip of water, which will help activate your ears and brain. Friends, don't lose hope with age. Even at 88, your memory can be as sharp as at 20. Blocked ears will clear up, and the fear of dementia will fade away. Start this evening. Just 3 minutes before sleep, and in a month, you will see changes. Communication with family will become joyful again. You will hear the singing of birds, the whisper of the wind, and other beautiful sounds. Most importantly, you will be able to enjoy a healthy old age without dementia. I share with you the results of 40 years of research that will help ensure your health in the future. If you want to know more, share this with elderly relatives. Write in the comments if you will start taking 5 steps today. I look forward to your changes. Together, we can create a healthy and happy old age.